Alright, here we are for another Psalm draft. Here looking at our first pack, I think Pith Driller is quite simply the best card. It doesn't commit us to a color, and it's already probably one of the best cards since it is a 2-for-1 removal. I mean, this pack is actually kind of deep. Like, Shattered Angel's okay, Remember's pretty good. Not deep in terms of great cards, but deep in terms of playables. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess somebody's probably ended up taking this. So 10 cards that could end up being played. I mean, I might expect to wheel something like the Trespassing Soul Eater. Maybe like the... Sometimes this goes late, like the Remember, the Wellspring, or the Volt Scourge. Yeah, so I think we're going to get something back from this deck we're going to end up being able to play that's basically colorless. Pith Thriller is definitely the pick. Well, here I really like... I mean, I like playing an aggressive white strategy, and this actually kind of fits into that. I think Tezzeret's Gambit is clearly the best card. Having Proliferate's pretty amazing, and card advantage is big in this set, and it doesn't commit us to a color yet. I've seen Conversion Chamber be good, but overall I think it's kind of a mediocre card. Against aggressive decks, it just does nothing really. I don't think we're necessarily going to get anything back from this pack. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, not many cards that are going to be played, so I don't think we're going to see anything back, but it's possible to get like a Lost Lana, and if nobody wants that and people want to force you into Infect, we're going to go ahead and take the Gambit. Well, I don't know what's going on here. There must have been like a busted rare, and then an Enslave or something. We haven't really passed much either. We have passed a couple white cards, in like the Suture Priest. I think the removal's just a little bit better than the Master Splicer. And, I mean, I'm normally partial to Volt Charge or Grim Affliction. I think it just kills more in the format, even though Pith Driller kind of allies with the black a little bit better. We haven't seen any Infect cards yet, so, I mean, this is actually a pretty solid start to an Infect deck, so maybe the Grim Affliction could be a good pick if we want to go an Infectish route. I mean, either one of these is going to be our pick. Just seeing these other little red cards here, I think the Grim Affliction might be the pick, even though I tend to like Volt Charge better. Since I think that means black is going to be open, and we're going to be able to go a more Infect route. Well, I see Mind Culling here. This is quite clearly the card. And also the argument for Grim Affliction over Volt Charge is because we already have a Pith Driller, so we don't really want to be taking too much damage, even though they are kind of colorless. And since they're close in power level and we already have a semi-black card, it's probably better to go this route, leaving us open for Infect. Here, I think Mind Culling is just going to be the best. None of these other cards even fit an Infect theme. None of them are really that powerful or in black, so Mind Culling's quite a strong card, and again, it's splashable, so we're going to go ahead and take it. This is kind of an interesting pack in terms of I think we passed the Master Splicer. I think that would have gotten taken in the Suture Priest, and another Remember. So I think people are going to be taking the white. I don't really want to go into white for that reason because I don't think we're going to see a lot of it in the next pack. We're also not seeing a ton of white here, though Remember is good. We're just not seeing a lot of it. So I think the choice is either between Spinethopter or Wellspring. So we kind of stick on the black or the blue-black plan. Again, it's colorless. Or we take the Wellspring and we might be able to branch out and go for a splash. I think Wellspring's good enough and Mind Culling's splashable enough. I don't really want to commit to this because we could still end up playing some bizarre Infect strategy with the Wellspring and 2 Proliferate cards, so I'm going to go ahead and take the Wellspring here. Again, this is a pack that doesn't really commit you. We are black, but Blind Zealot, I mean, we're probably black, though now we could be splashing. Blind Zealot definitely would commit us to black. It's kind of a mediocre card and doesn't fit in an Infect strategy with black, though it does fit with like a blue-black control deck. Gremlin Mine is an okay card. Would still fit in any of the decks we'd be playing. Mutagenic Growth, if we took that, would probably be committed to going to some sort of Infect strategy. Probe would be more of a filler, though a fine card. I think I just want to take Gremlin Mine here and keep our options a little bit more open, since it's a similar card to Blind Zealot, even though it's much better than Gremlin Mine overall, I think, in black, because of how it works with Morbid Plunder. I think Caressifrexia is going to be the right pick here. Well, we already do have 2 card drawing spells. I like the Caressifrexia again. We passed like the Volt Charge, so the person to our left, there was a Master Splicer and the Volt Charge in the same pack, so they couldn't take both, but they might be leaning toward white-red. We really don't know what they're taking. We haven't actually seen a lot of Infect cards. I'm not a huge fan of Mortis Dogs, regardless, even though we do need creatures. I'm not a huge fan of Parasitic Implant. I mean, I guess we could take Slash Panther and go blue, black, red kind of splashing strategy. Maybe that's the better bet, actually. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. It might have been better to take the Caress, but it seems we already have 2 cards that can draw, and we are very low on creatures. I think that's an okay pick. Huh. Here, again, Remember the Fallen really works, especially if it's not a Sack or Wellspring in this type of deck, but we're not really branching out into white. As I said, we passed a lot of white cards, so I think we're just going to go ahead and take the Spinethopter and solidify the person to our left in an aggressive white deck. And cool, wow, the Remember the Fallen also wield. So there's like, I mean, again, we're not taking the Remember. I don't think we're taking the other Wellspring here since we already have one. I think we're just going to go ahead and take the Volt Scourge. Hex Parasite can be cool in some situations, but he's not amazing. I think Volt Scourge is just generally better overall. You'll notice that we're still not really committed. Though this is really looking like a blue-black type deck, since if we don't commit to blue-black, we're taking a lot of damage from our mana. I think I'm going to just go ahead and take the Chain Throat Seeker. I don't think we're ever going to be playing Tanadon. I want to discourage them from going blue. We'll take the easily splash red card if we need it. I think we'd want them playing Hellion since it's pretty terrible. And I guess this deck's okay against Furnace Scant. We'll just take the Invasion. Yeah, so I mean there could be arguments for Slash Panther being Caressifrexia or being Morbid Dogs. But again, I really don't like Morbid Dogs that much. I think he is okay. Because in that situation, we weren't really sure if we were going to be moving into red-black or not. I think it all depends on this next pack, because we'll see what we end up getting, since we don't necessarily need to be blue. I think Spread the Sickness is just the best card here. Mortarpod's incredibly good. But I don't think it has the same power as Spread the Sickness, and the Proliferate on Spread the Sickness is... I mean, we have quite the Proliferate theme here, which is interesting. Definitely not taking, like, the Relic Order. If we take the Spread, they're going to take the Mortarpod. We might wheel something like Gust Skimmer out of this pack. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... I guess 6, 7, 8, yeah, 9, 10. There's a bunch of cards people are going to be taking, so we're probably going to get like a Gust Skimmer. I really don't see us having an Infect strategy at the moment, since we don't have any Infect guys. But it's still always possible. It's still always possible we end up going red-black and just splash the Mind Calling too. So if we wheel something like the Ogre Resistor, all depends on what we get past here. I think I'm going to hide the Destruction for now. We know we have it. I'll also hide the Throat Seeker for now, but again, we know we have it. I think here the Morbid Plunder is clearly the pick. We are short on creatures, but none of these creatures really excite me, and we're probably going to wheel something like the Servant, the Gust Skimmer, Mire Seer. Viridian Claw, we're not really playing Infect. Well, it's an okay card. It's really best in Infect, so we're not looking for that. Core Prowler is interesting, since we have so much Proliferate already. And he puts, adds some counters and proliferates, but I don't think he's worth taking. Like, Morbid Plunder is just that strong. Card advantage-wise, that it's clearly worth taking here. We don't have any artifact sack outlets. We'd like to see one since we have a Wellspring. Violent Wound, like, even though we need creatures, I think the Wound is the best, because, again, a lot of proliferate, and that works well with all those. And I think we are going to get some Gust Skimmers late. I don't really like Serum Raker all that much, though he's a fine card. Though the mana commitment is not something we want to invest in here, since we might not even be playing heavy blue. We could still be red-black. And I think Violent Wound is, yeah, clearly the pick. I'm wondering, like, we're seeing white come through, so That's interesting. I'm wondering if they're probably red-white to our left, but I guess it's hard to tell right now. I mean, we're still seeing even a Rotwolf and a Blightwood on the last pack of what they're actually taking. Treasure Mage is an interesting card here. We're so low on creatures. I don't really see us taking Vivisection at the moment, especially because we already have the card drawing. We could just take the Ogre Resistor and be looking at the black-red route. Like, that might be safer since we don't currently have any targets for Treasure Mage. If we got a Hexblade Golem, Hexblade Golem looks like it would really fit in this type of deck, and it could make the Treasure Mage good. So this is kind of like where our deck goes one direction or the other. We either take the Treasure Mage and we swap, or we take we stay blue-black, or we take the Ogre Resistor and we move into more of a red-black build. I'm leaning toward Treasure Mage since I think we're going to be getting Gust Skimmers later, and I think if we do get a Hexblade Golem, I think it combos better with this type of deck. Here, gosh, and there's another Rotwolf. That is crazy. I mean, we could have we could have even gone the Infect route and maybe had a slightly better deck than we have now. Anyway, I think Rager's a much better card than Serum Raker overall, especially when you have like Morbid Plunders. Serum Raker, again, don't get me wrong, is good, but just the mana commitment, we're not 100% invested in that yet. Could still open something like a Horde Smelter Dragon. Again, we haven't seen any Rusted Slashers that are going to be wheeling, so I don't think taking Wellsprings is that good here. Well, there is a Hexblade Golem, and now I'm trying to rack my brain to see if we actually had any Hexblades going around earlier. We do know there's a Vivisection, so taking the Oculus here could be a good idea, especially because we already have a... we don't have a lot of early drops, and we have a Morbid Plunder. But if we go the blue-black route, I'd really like to play Hexblade since we have a Treasure Mage. I don't think... we're probably going to get enough chaff that something like Drawstripper isn't necessarily needed right now. We already have a few 4-drop creatures, so it's really between Oculus and Hexblade here. I think I'm going to lean toward Hexblade, because if we go blue, this is like a card draw with the Hexblade, and I don't think we're picking up one later. And of course, I do see a Vivisection. I can't believe there's still a Divine Offering in this pack, which makes Hexblade pretty bad. We've seen 2 Divine Offerings go around, and this one going that late. We're not going to take Septic Rats here. We're not an Infect deck in any way. We're just going to go ahead and take the Vivisection, hopefully get like a Mirror. Yeah, I don't know what people are drafting. I'm going to go and just take the Spire Serpent, great defensive card. Works fine here. I think Flencermite's okay in our deck. He's an early drop. Can get us some life back and trade with something, put a counter on something that gets proliferated, and come back to Morbid Plunder. So he seems fine as providing some early defense, so I'm missing the early drops. And we did get a Gust Skimmer back. I think that's clearly stronger than these other alternatives. So for the reasons why I mentioned like Flencermite, we just need some early alternatives, early drops to keep us in the game to get to our more powerful late game spells. I'm going to go ahead and take Field for the Cause. Probably not main decking it. But it definitely could be okay coming on the sideboard if they have something we can't really deal with very well. And Digester's the only real playable card here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab him. So yeah, maybe it could have been better to go the red route. I mean, we're solidified in black now. Like, after seeing the other Divine Offering and seeing seeing a Vivisection right after, the Oculus probably would have ended up being better for our deck overall. I like the Treasure Mage / Hexblade Golem package in this type of deck, but again, because of the Divine Offerings, like it's something we might even be sideboarding out. We almost have like a deck built here. Remember, we can easily splash red. The Wellspring. We didn't get anything to sack the Wellspring. So I wonder if we're going to be playing it. I mean, it helps us splash, but without something to sack it, it's not generally the best card. I guess Throne of Geth would be kind of cool if we can get another way to abuse it, since we have a decent amount of artifacts. Could have been better to pick up like one of those Remember the Fallens late. I don't remember exactly what we passed over them, since we already had a Wellspring. And that way, if you get like thrown a Geth or something, it's very nice to splash like Remember. But yeah, no Rusted Slashers. The Wellspring is not looking great right now. Black's not known for sacrificing that many artifacts. I mean, it's okay to enable Metalcraft, I guess, for Spire Serpent. And so we have, like, we talked about it last pack, and whoa, here it happened. God, I think I am going to take him. Like, let's say we hide, like, our blue package here. And I guess you could argue you could splash Vivisection. If we're splashing Mind Cooling. We really don't have that much that's going to commit us to blue. I might bring those back in a sec. I'll just keep in mind that I have Treasure Mage, Spire Monitor, Vivisection. While, like, Scudder's okay, I mean... We've got the Horde Smelter, so I think it's worth just dipping into red right now since we're not that committed to blue, and Horde Smelter is so powerful. I'm gonna and since there's a lot of Divine Offerings, Hexblade's not great. Yeah, there's... And look, we already have 16 playables. Like, there's nothing to keep us from taking Horde Smelter here. We might even wheel something like Scudder. A lot of people don't necessarily like that. Or even the Daredevil, which makes playing our Wellspring a lot stronger. So, in fact, the Daredevil would be... very nice wheel. And then we get past Volition Reigns. Cool. Well, now that we took Horde Smelter, I don't know if we can dare take Volition Reigns. So seeing black, like, I don't think Blackcleave Cliffs is gonna wheel. None of these other cards really excite me. I don't like Golem Artisan. Some people like him. I don't think he's very good at all. He dies easily, and it's a lot of mana commitment. We could just take the Blackcleave Cliffs, but if we're splashing to fix our mana, but if we're splashing like Horde Smelter, then I'd rather have Volition Reigns. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and take the Reigns here. Huh. Well, Iron Mirror... like, if we do end up playing the blue, Iron Mirror is pretty awesome at fixing our mana. We have the Wellspring, we have an Iron Mirror. Our deck likes to get... I think it's a little mana hungry. It likes to get to stuff like Mind Cooling. More powerful spells out quickly, so I think Iron Mirror is quite clearly the pick here. I guess people could make an argument for Plague Stinger as a solid defensive card, but I think the Iron Mirror is just going to be more valuable for us early on. And since it helps fix our mana, it allows us maybe to actually splash Horde Smelter. Yeah. Ooh, well, Grasp of Darkness, clearly the best card. I'm not taking something like Trinket Mage over that, even though I can get us a Gremlin Mine. Shatter, pretty good, but it's no Grasp of Darkness. In fact, we might wheel something from this pack. I don't know how, like, Revoke's still here. There are, if we take the grass, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 playables. I'd assume it would end up being something like Auriok Replica, Volshock Replica coming back. We could end up seeing, like, Trinket Mage. I mean, I don't know why Shatter, Revoke, and Grasp are all still in this pack. Like, this is 4th pick. And there are there's 2 uncommons and a rare missing. I guess they all could have been insane. Power level of this draft could be very, very high, looking at what people have been taking. Oh, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 artifacts. So Snapsail Glider could be okay. I think Moriok Reaver might be slightly stronger. I mean, he's easier to cast if we're screwing up our mana a little bit. And again, we have Treasure. If we play the blue, we have Treasure Mage and Hexblade. So that's another artifact there. Huh. And we'd have, I think I'd take the Snapsail, and we'd have our Spire Servant, probably. Like, what is going on here? I don't know why these are still in the pack. I'd definitely take the Grasp again. Turn of Slag's still very good, and an answer to our Dragon, but I think just grabbing a Grasp there is stronger. I think Instill Infection's clearly the card for our deck. Like, it gets us closer to our bomb cards, and it works with all the Proliferate. Wow, even got a Throne of Geth late, just like I was talking about. Well, it's between Nurok Replica and Throne of Geth. I'm thinking Throne of Geth, I mean, it can kill the Wellspring, and if we get the 2-1 red guy back, that might actually be a better... It might be better to go with the red than the blue. Nurok Replica is also a very good creature. Since I'm not really sure which is better, I'm going to take the Throne because I think you can do trickier things with it. If I end up, yeah, we got him back. And I don't know if the blue package with Volition Rains and splashing the Smelters better. But we're not like playing any of these other cards. We have Grasp of Darkness, so like we can just blow stuff up in response to the Infect deck going crazy. And I don't think there is an Infect deck right now, so we're going to take that. Flight Spellbomb's pretty good, though. Like if we want the red package, this guy also can sacrifice artifacts, but now we have 2 things, so we're probably not going to play him anyway. Wow, Steady Progress, another Proliferate card. I think we just have too much as it is. We don't really need any more, yeah. We're not going to play the Spellbomb, but I think it's... Wow, Moriok Replica, awesome. Huh. Well, we got quite the brew to put together here. We got more playables than I have ever seen in my life. Since we already hit a few cards, I think we have like 33 playables. In 2 directions the deck can go, because we can play the Rains or we can play the Horde Smelter. Or we could try and splash the Horde Smelter and still play the Rain. Well, High Digester, he's definitely not going. Okay. Might be playing Spellbombs, not 100% sure. Again, not sure if I'm playing him. I think Throne of Geth is going to go in. We'll put it in for now. Gosh, this could be one of the hardest decks to build. I think Horde Smelter's going in because he's clearly the best. We'll put... This is like some red block there. Now I'll just put this here so we can remember that's an argument for red. We're definitely playing black. Just move the crappy black cards here. I like the synergy of our black. I like all the Proliferate effects. So we're definitely playing that. Like we're playing Spinethopter. Alright. Here, we're playing Tezzeret's Gambit. We're playing Mind Calling no matter what. We're playing that. We're playing that. Well, this is 21 cards here. Jeez. For Splashing Blue, I guess Got Skimmer's okay as an early drop, and you can also Throne of Geth him. Like, how many things do we have counters? That puts on a counter, this puts on a counter. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's a pretty big reason to keep Throne of Geth in. Especially since it works with all those things. You can sack the Wellspring. Even sacking it itself, it can kill like 2 things after we put counters on it. Well, we don't have anything else that's really building counters, just taking away, so maybe it's not worth it. I mean, it's only really the best if we get it with our Wellspring. Vivisection doesn't really have a lot of, we'll put this here, a lot of targets to kill, especially if I'm playing with like Throne of Geth. Like there could be a reason just to go something like this. Just because that helps sack, that can help sack the Wellspring, can get the lands we need. But I mean, if we're playing this and this is our only red, like, we're not playing a lot of red, so he's not coming out early, so that's probably not the best. Gosh, this is one of the hardest builds that I have seen. I mean, if we go, like, I think Volition Range is our strongest blue card. It's probably stronger than Treasure Mage, Hexblade. I'd want to go not very many lands. The problem is this is also 3 islands, so we're hardly playing any blue, but then boom, a card that takes 3 islands. And I'd probably even want to play a Spell Bomb over 17th land with a Mirror and a Wellspring and this many 2-drops. Could be argued that you could play a Gremlin Mine over, or a Spell Bomb over the Gremlin Mine, just because we have so much other removal, just to get farther into the deck. God, if we went this route, I mean, if we play Treasure Mage, we have to play Golem. I don't know if that's going to be best in this deck. Is it better to play, like, Spell Bomb or a land? Actually, it's probably better to play the land, because we don't want to miss land drops or things like that, and we don't want to get color screwed. Is it better? We only have 10 creatures. Well, maybe it's better to play this guy than, like, Gremlin Mine, since we only have 10 creatures and we already have all this removal. Or than Throne of Geth. God, if we played Throne of Geth, it would be nice to play Spell Bomb. Or, so maybe, like that. However we build this deck, it looks great. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 artifacts. I think Slash Panther's not as good. This deck's more defensive as Spire Serpent for that reason. Wow. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We just play like 3 mountains and a Horde Smelter and then have the Iron Mirror and the Mycosynth? We play 2 mountains with Iron Mirror and Mycosynth and Horde Smelter? Just since we have so much card drawing? It seems nuts, but like, they can't both be on the bottom of our library if we have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 artifacts. I mean, we're not necessarily relying on Metalcraft for him. How are we gonna win? This kind of counts as a creature to win. We can tack over maybe with Snap Sail. Like maybe Treasure Mage Hexblade Golem is just better than like Gust Skimmer Snap Sail Glider. Like this does, it puts our deck up on the curve a little bit, though we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 things we're doing on that turn. And it's a little bit more card advantage that thins our deck out so we can draw into this other stuff. I don't think we can fit in the Vivisection at the moment, though. It's definitely sideboard material. We have a ton of, oh, this is 25 cards now. We have to take out Snap Sail, yeah. And Snap Sail, 1, 2, 3, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 artifacts. Maybe we take out Spire Serpent now for Snap Sail Glider, and maybe sideboard him in if we need more defense, since, God, well, I better add some lands. See what they suggest. I think 2 mountains is actually going to be fine. Well, crap. This seems like suicide. I'm playing 3 blue and 2 there, but I know you guys are all probably laughing at my deck here. Snap Sail is a little bit easier to cast earlier. Maybe Gust Skimmer's a little bit. Maybe we just play the Hex Plate without. No, I like just playing Gust Skimmer, Spire Serpent. I think that's better. Easier to cast. We're not really committed to our mana as much early. I don't know if we're going to ever be able to cast Volition Reigns. I think we will be able to cast. You know, we don't necessarily need all that black early, so maybe something like this. That'll probably ensure we can cast Volition Reigns, ensure we can cast Horde Smelter. Like, we'll know what to mic us into Wellspring for based on the other lands we draw. We don't really necessarily need double black all that early, just like one. And this can go get a Swamp Still in a pinch. I mean, we have so much colorless stuff. Yeah, I think this is fine. This is the weirdest deck I've ever seen. We're not even playing Gremlin Mine. If they have like the Tanadons and stuff, I'll sideboard in mine. Alright, we'll see how it goes. Gosh. Alright, I'll see you for round one.